Ice dam first response is a liquid material, and it works extremely fast. If you have water running through a ceiling or a wall as a result of ice dams on the roof, what you need to do is breach that dam. You need to give that water an outlet so that it's not trapped up behind the ice dam. First response will go to work immediately. It'll work its way through an ice dam in a matter of probably 20 minutes to an hour. Works very, very fast, and so it's the first response you ought to have if you're getting damage from an ice dam. It's a liquid, very safe, comes in quart containers, also 1 gallon containers, and in 2.5 gallon containers. Ice Dam Attack is a granular product, and it works at an intermediate speed of the 3 products that we have. If you have an ice dam, if the ice dam exists on a roof and you need to work through it and want to open up a pretty good opening, the Ice Dam Attack is a good way to go, assuming you don't have water coming in through a ceiling, in which case you'd be using the first response. The Ice Dam Attack as a granule will work down to temperatures below 0. It can be scattered up on the roof above the ice dam. It can be poured in a pile right behind the ice dam, and in either case it'll work down through the ice dam, and generally will take a matter of several hours in order to effectively cut through the ice dam, but does a very good job of getting through the ice dam. The Ice Dam Blaster is our third step in controlling ice dams on roofs. If this is put on early in the season, roughly in the northern areas around Thanksgiving time, before we start to get snow on the roof, the Ice Dam Blaster should keep ice dams from forming on the roof. Placement is critical, and we'll go through that in just a minute. But the Ice Dam Blaster is a sleeve that comes packaged. It's wrapped in plastic to keep moisture out, and it has instructions on the package. And I'll go through the placement and so on for the Ice Dam Blaster. It's really meant to keep an area open once you have an ice dam opened up. So you can either put it up as a preventative early in the season, or you can put it up after you've opened up an ice dam using either our first response or our Ice Dam Attack. The Ice Dam Blaster was designed to basically last for a winter. Of course, that depends on the amount of moisture and so on that goes through the Ice Dam Blaster. To understand how to take care of ice dams, first of all you need to understand why ice dams form and then how they can do their damage. An ice dam forms basically when there's a lot of snow on the roof, and there's heat coming up through the roof itself. A lot of times you'll have a snow load on the roof and it'll look like there's nothing happening up there, but if you were to dig down through the snow, you'd see running water underneath the snow. That running water is happening because the snow is melting. The snow itself is a good insulator, but there's water running underneath it because of insulation issues usually on the roof. Once you have that water running and the water runs down the roof and it hits the gutter, or it gets down to that area, the overhang area where it's cold, the water can refreeze again, and once it starts to freeze, it'll start to build up, and it can build up a layer that might be a ½ an inch high, might be an inch or 2 high, it can be as much as 12 inches or more high, and it actually forms a dam. Then the water that continues to melt gets trapped behind that dam, and in order to find a way out of there, eventually could come down through the shingles and get into the ceiling or walls of the house, causing some real damage. When we're trying to treat ice dams, we're not trying to melt all of that ice that's up there. What we're simply trying to do is breach that dam. We want to get a little bit of an outlet somewhere along the line that water can get out from behind the ice dam. It's not necessary then to get rid of the entire dam. To understand how these products work, all of these products, when they come in contact with that running water, or when they melt down through the snow and ice, will form basically what we would consider to be a brine. And that brine then is going to be something that we would hope would not refreeze and would keep an opening for the water to get out from behind that ice dam. That's why we have three different products. They work at different temperatures and they work at different speeds. There really isn't one answer that fits all. If we use our first response, it's going to act very fast, and it wouldn't give us the longevity that we need. If we use an ice dam blaster, that gives us the longevity, but it may not give us the speed we need. So you may need to use products in combination in order to take care of the problem. When you're placing these products, you want to take a look at where you place them. You need to get them in an area where there's running water, where there's water that's going to be coming down through, particularly the ice dam blaster. As it comes through this black material, it'll dissolve some of the chemical that's inside, and it'll form that brine, and that's what's going to go down and keep your ice dam open and keep basically an ice dam from forming. Now, you have to make sure that you have enough brine, and keep in mind that this brine has got to be able to stay in the liquid state through different temperatures. When it gets really cold out, by that I mean into the sub-zero temperatures, the ice dam blaster brine probably is not going to keep on running. It'll probably refreeze once you get down into the neighborhood of 0 to 5 below. At that point, there's probably a good chance that you're not going to have running water on the roof though either, in which case you're not going to be experiencing damage coming in. But if you do, you can activate it using one of the other two products. You also want to make sure that if you've created an outlet, in other words, you've breached that dam, you want to make sure that you've done that in strategic areas, because if you have the water getting out from back behind the ice dam, you also want to make sure that it'll be able to run down the gutter and get to the downspout and then down off the roof. Or if you have a gutter where the water can get down behind the gutter, that's okay too. But you need the water to be able to get down off the roof. So placing the ice dam blaster or the other two products in a strategic location is something that you need to look at, where you have valleys, where you have a lot of water running, where you have blockage, and that's where you need to place the products. Icicles are an indication that an ice dam is present. If you look at this picture, you can see the icicles hanging over the gutter, and if you look right above the icicles, you can see there's a dam. It's solid ice, and then the snow is up on top of that. That gutter is completely plugged with an ice dam. That means that there's potential for water to back up behind there and actually get up through the shingles and through the ceiling back behind it. In order to treat that, then, what we're going to need to do is put one of our three products back behind that ice dam. Now, our ice dam blaster could have been put right in the gutter. There's nothing wrong with putting it in the gutter or just above the gutter, wherever you're sure that you're going to get good water running. And that water, a good flow of water is going to pick the chemical out of the ice dam blaster and basically form the brine that's going to keep things open. At this point, when you have an ice dam like this, you need to either use our first response and or use our ice dam attack, and in either case it needs to be put up behind the ice dam so that we can break our way through the ice. And again, you will not see all those icicles go away. You will not see the ice dam go away. We just basically want to give an outlet for that water, and so that we don't continue with the problem and have some damage inside the house. The first response can be poured up behind the ice dam. You can see the ice dam right on the edge here. and it's built up about 4 inches here. As we get a little bit over that way, it's up about 6 inches. But I'm just going to pour the first response right down through the snow, and I have it in a quart bottle here. When you pour it down, you can hear it go to work right away. Makes a noise. If you pour it too fast, it's going to end up running right over the top of the ice, and that means that you're not allowing it enough time to work its way underneath the ice and do its thing. So you want to pour it on rather slowly. With an ice dam that's this serious, you're probably going to need a lot more first response than what I have to pour on it, but just to demonstrate how you do it. And typically what you would do is you would pour about roughly about 1 to 2 cups in an area here, and then move on to another area. So this is how first response is used. The first response has already come through. We poured it on about less than a minute ago, and it's already starting to drip down on this end. So it has come through the ice dam, and it has relieved it some already to where we're getting runoff at this point. Very fast acting. From the roof here, and as you can see, it's wet right here, so there has been some running water. The ice dam comes up this high, and with the slant of the roof, this is all water that is frozen and is trapped behind there right now. The place to put the ice dam blaster at this time would be right up behind that, then right in this general area. That way when the water would start to run again, and it's not running right now because it's very cold today, but when the water would start to run again, it'll come through this ice dam blaster and dissolve out some of the chemical. That's what's going to make the brine that's going to open up the ice dam. Under these cold temperatures, we need to be either using first response or ice dam attack in order to break through the ice dam. It's way too cold for the ice dam blaster to do it by itself. As we mentioned, the ice dam blaster would normally take 1 to 2 days to work anyway, even if there was water running. So it's rather slow, and it's meant to do that so that it stays there for the season. I've spread some of our ice dam attack down behind this ice dam just to help loosen it up, help to get through it. Typically you want to put somewhere between a half a pound and a little bit more. I would guess on what I put in here is between a half a pound and a pound. And that should be enough to work its way through that ice dam and get the water flowing again.